Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Okay, I got one because me and my dad literally just talked about this story like recently, and it still creeps me out to this day. So my dad's best friend, my uncle Marshall, um, this is someone that him and my dad they grew up together in Nigeria, all from childhood till they graduated high school. When they graduated high school, my uncle Marshall came to America, and once he got here, he did everything in his power to get my dad over here, which he did. So yeah, thick as thieves, besties. So around the time when I was like 5 or 6, my Uncle Marshall is always at the house, like was always at the house because him and my dad, they were young, so they were always like drinking, partying, all of that. And um, if my uncle was, too drunk to drive, he would just be on our couch. He would fall asleep on our couch, whatever that may be. He was always there. Even if they weren't going out and it was just late, he would just, like, I just knew, like, Uncle Marshall, he'd be on the couch. He'd be asleep on the couch. One thing, though, that I looked forward to whenever he did stay the night, even whenever he just came over, he really loved me and my siblings. Like, he would, if the ice cream truck was outside, he's the one like, come on, let's go. Like to go get us ice cream. He's always bringing over like sweets, candies, all of those things for us, presents, all of that. So, anytime I know that he's there, I know that when he wakes up, we're going to get like some good stuff. But unfortunately, my uncle ended up getting cancer. And so I remember, again, around like age 5, 6, us going to the hospital to go see him. He was up, he was talking, like he was fine and all of that. And yeah, I just remember thinking because I was so young, I wasn't really understanding like what cancer, I didn't know what cancer was. So to me, I'm like, okay, he's sick. I get that, but he's in the hospital, so he's going to be okay. I didn't understand like any other alternative to not being okay. So maybe like a week or two after the hospital visit, one night I wake up and just want to go lay in my parents' bed. Just wanted to go lay with them. And so as I'm leaving my room, I am walking past the living room and I see Uncle Marshall on the couch. He's laying on the couch. And at first, I wasn't sure if it was him because I didn't remember him coming over the night before. So I look closer and it's dark because it's nighttime. I look closer and then he looks up at me. And so I'm like, oh, that is Uncle Marshall. He looks up and he just like waves. And I'm like, and then I'm like, I get excited because I'm like, oh yes, he's here. We're gonna get some good stuff in the morning. So I was kind of excited to see him. So after I did my wave, I kept going and went to my parents' room. So once I got in the bed, so I'm trying to squeeze in between my parents or whatever. And so it wakes up my dad. My dad wakes up and yeah, so I'm like trying to snuggle with him and I just tell him like, oh, Uncle Marshall is here. He's on the couch. And my dad's like, what? I was like, Uncle Marshall, he's on the couch. He was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like trying to say it again because I'm confused. Like, are you not understanding me? Uncle Marshall's here. And as I'm saying that, literally the phone starts ringing. So my dad picks up the phone and it's literally the hospital letting him know that my Uncle Marshall had passed. So now my dad is like hysterical. He's waking up my mom and they're both like saying, that he's gone. And I'm like, I'm still not getting it. I'm like, he's on the couch. And my dad keeps like tell like what am I talking about? We get up, we go into the living room. He's not there because he's at the hospital. Yeah. So my dad kept asking me like, what did you see? What did you see? I was like, I started getting scared. I'm like, I saw him. He waved at me. He was on the couch. Like I was not getting it. So yeah, so that was my first encounter seeing paranormal. Rest in peace, to my uncle. That was the last time I saw him, but apparently he did come back again to like other people. That's like a whole nother story. Like if you're Nigerian, you already know it's a mess. It's a longer story, but that was my interaction. A lot of people were like, no, you might have dreamt it. But I was like, there was no reason. Why would I literally wake up out of my sleep, see him, wave at him, and 2 minutes later, we get the phone call that he's gone. I don't know, but creepy.
You should be afraid of is the ones that are alive that will kill you.
Wait till you hear this story. Oh my God, I have chills.
Well, this actually happened to me and my mom. So she's my witness. And I know people think when I tell this story, it's like this girl is chasing, she reaching. Not. Okay. So we had a pastoral banquet, our pastoral anniversary banquet. And so it was on a Sunday, last day of the banquet. And we got the chairs from no other place than a funeral home. So we returned the chairs, of course, back to the funeral home. But my mom called a lady like, hey, we're getting ready to bring the chairs. And so the lady was like, just take the chairs, drive around to the back and put them on the, by the door on the back because no one is there because we're at a funeral. Remember that part, okay? Cool. So when me and my mom go drop the chairs off, we just unloading the chairs because we're not knocking on the door or nothing because she said there's nobody there. Okay, great. We unloading the chairs and everything. And then I said, Ma, I think I seen that curtain move like that. I guess she didn't hear me because she kept unloading everything and, it was just going on. And then after that, somebody opened the door. This big brown-skinned, bald-head guy opened the door, heavy set. And my mom was like, oh, you scared me. That man said, oh, I was just sleeping. And then he goes to say, it's not the dead you should be afraid of. It's the ones that are alive that will kill you. Anyways, so we continue on, my mama, she go ahead, boom, unload the chairs, whatever. And the man proceeds to get the chairs from us and take them inside. But here's the thing. Whole time the man was unloading the chairs, he never got the chairs off the truck. He only put the chairs inside of the funeral home. So he never stepped out of the funeral home itself. But we paying it no mind, whatever. So we get all the chairs unloaded. That man told us, now y'all have a blessed day now. We get in the car, Mom probably got 30 seconds down the road and had to pull over at a gas station because she literally was scared shitless. Literally had to go take a shit because she was scared shitless. So after that, we tell our encounterment to a family member, and my aunt, she's very nosy, very nosy. So she not called up to the place, she goes up to the place and was like, I just came to let you know that my sister dropped the chairs out. And the lady said, yeah, we got her from off the back porch. My aunt no, the man helped her put him on the inside. The lady said, what man? She the man that was here with the suit on. This man had on a suit and his tie was untied. He had on a suit. Then my aunt looked over to a picture and it was the man on the picture. The dead man helped us put the chairs inside the funeral home. So we thought. We don't even know who this man is. And see, we've used this funeral home before because it's like a community funeral home or whatever. I've never seen that man ever before until that day. And obviously, I've never seen him afterwards for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's what happened.
His picture was on the wall. I'm wondering, did he work at the funeral home? Was that someone that used to work there, used to own it? Or because, that's the only thing I could think of, right? Because why would they have a person's picture on the wall that died unless there's someone that worked at the funeral home or was a relative of someone that worked at the funeral home? It's not like everyone that comes through there that they do funerals for, I'm sure they don't have their pictures on the wall. That would be kind of weird. I'm surprised that the aunt, because she was so nosy and went over there, didn't ask hey, who's that person? This was such a great, crazy story.
It's not
Is entirely true. If you know me, I have a lot of those and I come with receipts.
So my mom, my dad, my sister, and her newborn baby had just moved to this small town in the Midwest called Liberty, Missouri. Now this town is very old. It has a lot of history. The house that we bought and we moved into, I don't think was haunted, but I think it was more so the land itself that was haunted. To kind of give y'all an idea of just how old this town was and how much history it has, this building that's behind me is called the Oddfellows Home. This building was built, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in 1893. So very, very old. It's been a hospital for the mentally ill, the physically ill. I think at one point it was an orphanage. So this town has been around for a while. For the entirety of my mom's life, she's always had a lot of supernatural experiences. She's been very intuitive. So right when we moved in, she kind of sensed that there was some sort of entity or spirit, and we always thought it was kind of a childlike spirit just because it was more so playful, and it just played a lot of pranks. It never really threatened us or our safety or anything. Now, as mentioned before, it was my dad, my mom, my sister, and her newborn baby living in this house, and the most activity happened in this room, which was the baby's nursery room. The doors in this room would always open and close by themselves. My niece would wake up in the middle of the night or really early in the morning, around 3 or 4. She would stand up in her crib looking out over the room, yelling into space, yelling no, yelling stay back. I'll show those videos in a second. I would say the creepiest part about this room was that in this closet, which the door never stayed shut in this room, in this closet there's a little crawl space that was kind of locked in. Here's a better picture of the door. You can actually see in this photo that this door is cracked open, and that's how it always stayed. No matter how many times you shut it, that door would always open back up. Now, this bedroom was actually a Jack and Jill bedroom, so there was a bathroom connecting these 2 bedrooms that were right next to each other, and this bathroom is probably where the most creepy thing ever happened. My sister got out of the shower and saw this on the mirror. Now, mind you, she was the only person in the house. My dad was visiting family in Iowa. My mom was on a work trip. I was down here in Texas with my husband. And at this point, she had been alone in the house, just her and her newborn, for a week. This was the last day of the week that she was alone. And she takes a shower, and she gets out of the shower, and she sees this on the mirror. Mind you, we have lived in the house for a year at this point. We've taken so many showers. That mirror has fogged up so many times. Never ever has a message been written on this mirror. Now, this is kind of where we were validated in the fact that we thought this was a childlike spirit. Not only did it play pranks and kind of mess with us like that, but we think that this spells out Anna Bo Anna. And then there's 3 little stars. You can't really see that one, but there's 3 little stars underneath it. And this just really confirms that we were right in assuming that this might be a kid. As mentioned previously, my niece would, in the middle of the night, stand up in her crib and look out over the room and yell things like no and stay back. And I will show you guys that right now. Another thing that would happen a lot in that nursery was we would see a lot of orbs, and I know orbs are controversial, okay? A lot of people are like, oh, they're bugs, or oh, it's dust, or oh, it's just light from the camera and reflections and refractions or whatever, but just the way that these were moving, they had to be orbs. They had to be orbs, and I'll show you that now. The last video that I'll show you is me walking in the bedroom. As I mentioned previously, Doors would open and shut by themselves all the time. Now, I understand when you walk through like a doorway, sometimes the door will close behind you because of the wind, but usually it needs momentum for the door to completely latch. The video I'm about to show you, I walked at the doorway at a normal speed, like I'm not running through the doorway, and you can see it slowly shut, and the door completely latches. Completely latches. No way that that door completely latches with as slow as it was going. Watch. Completely latched. So to wrap up the video, I'll tell 2 more stories. I don't have any videos or pictures from these, but I'm pretty sure y'all can take my word for it. I'm obviously not lying here. My first ever like encounter with this spirit entity, whatever it was when we had just moved in. It was late 2019. I was just diagnosed with ovarian cancer, so I actually just had a pretty big surgery, and I was on some pretty hefty pain pills. I was on hydrocodone, so initially I thought I was just seeing things, but I'm upstairs, I'm in the Jack and Jill bedrooms. The bedroom that I'm in, the light is off. The bathroom that is connected to the bedroom, that light is on. So I wake up and I look in the doorframe of the bathroom and I see a figure. And it's nobody in my family. It doesn't look like anybody in my family. I see the figure, I get up and leave the room. Like I don't stare at it, I don't interact with it, I just get up and I leave. I go downstairs. All my family is downstairs. Nobody was up there. And then lastly, probably the craziest thing. So it was just my mom, my sister, and the newborn. It was around the winter time and it was about to be a big snowstorm. So my mom and my sister left the house to go run a bunch of errands before all the roads closed. They get back home with all the groceries and they take out the groceries in the car and they take all the bags and place them on the counter. Now, mind you, no food is put away, no groceries are put away. They just simply put the bags full of food on the counters and they quickly realize that they forgot something. So they leave, they come back with the thing they forgot. When they walk in the front door, they see all of the food, all of the groceries that they brought in and kept in the bags are out of the bags, just haphazardly placed around the kitchen in like the most random spots. And probably the weirdest, like tiniest creepy detail of the whole story is the twist ties on like loaves of bread that was taken off of the bread and it was placed on the edge of the counter, sitting up just like a little person with its like little legs crossed. So those are probably like the craziest stories that I have from that house. Like I said before, if you know me, if I know you, you've probably heard these stories because I literally tell them every chance I get.
Entirely true.
So I was born in this country called Myanmar, formerly known as Burma, which is in Southeast Asia. So it's very tropic, and because of the weather, we have a lot of mosquitoes. One of the viral illnesses that you can get from mosquitoes bite is called dengue fever. And when I was a child, I had it, so I was hospitalized. And when you have dengue fever, the hospital requires, back in the days, the hospital requires to take your blood every 2 hours to, check on your symptoms and things of the nature. I'm not really sure. I was 9 years old. I was in a hospital, but at night, my parents would go home and in the room, I had a private room, so I was the only one. But I am constantly like in and out of sleep because I get woken up every 2 hours and like my tips of my finger were like so numb because I get my blood taken out every 2 hours, right? So the nurses would come in at like every other 2 hours to take my blood and check on me, things of the nature. And then usually they'll be like, say like 4 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m., midnight, 2 a.m., things of the nature. So, but every night there would be like a nurse that always comes in at midnight, 10 p.m. and midnight, that would be the night shift nurse, right? But then like any other hospital, sometimes these nurses would change according to their schedule, according to the day off. But I've had this really sweet older nurse. Her name was Miss Genevieve. I called her Auntie Genevieve, and she would come in every night to like around like like a little before midnight to check on my vitals and my IVs and things of the nature. So, but then I got better. I left, but I had to come in for like a monthly checkup for I was in a hospital for like 3 months, so I was really sick. So, but then I got better. I was discharged. I came back a month later, and for the checkup. And my mom and my parents made like these little gift baskets for all the nurses and doctors who took care of me. And she asked me how many nurses and doctors. So I named her the list of the people who took care of me, and then they made all that each and everybody a gift, right? So, and I saw everybody, and then I had a gift for Miss Auntie Genevieve as well. And then the doctors were like, "How do you know Auntie Genevieve?" I was like, "What's that for?" I was like, "What do you mean? How do I know Auntie Genevieve?" I was like, "She checks on me every night." And let me tell you, the entire staff went quiet. Like they were like looking at each other. They're like, I'm 9 years old, okay? I couldn't have made that up, because I've never known this woman before I was in a hospital either. So, and then, so I was like, what is she sick, or is she off today? Or they're like, you wouldn't have known Genevieve. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I saw her every night. She checked on me every night. And they were like, no, it couldn't have, because she passed away 3 years ago on her way to her shift, and she was a night shift nurse. And let me tell you, the chill that went down my spine. And that was the only ghost story I have. I didn't even know I was a ghost. But Genevieve was real. She was real. Wherever you are, Auntie Genevieve, thanks for taking care of me. Rest in peace.
First.
Okay, excuse how I look, but I'm gonna try to be super quick when I tell this story. So this happened to me about a month ago, and I'm laying in my bed. I had just had the strangest dream in the world. And I woke up from my dream because, it was scary, like something was chasing me or whatever. And I went in the bathroom, and then I just woke up out of fear. And I just sat there, and I was just looking at my bedroom wall. The way my bed is set up, so like if you walk in my room and you look to the right, my bed is on the far left wall. And when I was sleeping, my back was turned to the door, so I couldn't see anything. So I'm just chilling, right? And I'm laying there. Mind you, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I hear the loudest footsteps running through our house. Like, our house, we have real hardwood floors, so you can hear when somebody's walking through the house. Like, you can hear that. But somebody was in there running, and they was running fast, girl. They wasn't stopping. But they did end up stopping, and they stopped at my room door. And I'm just laying in my room, and I'm looking at my wall like, what? It just ran through the house and stopped at my door for some reason. Like, what was that? And then I hear my bedroom door open. I know what my door sounds like. Like, if you have a newer house, you know how, if you open and close your door, it makes a clicking noise or whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I heard my door open, and I'm just laying there in fear. I've never felt so scared before in my life. I'm so serious. And I'm just laying there, and I feel something behind me. Y'all, it was the darkest presence I've ever felt. It felt not human, okay? Whatever was standing behind me was not a person. I thought it was, but it wasn't. The longer I sat there and realized that it was not a person. So I'm laying there, and I usually have the covers up to my neck, but this night I did not. I was slacking a little bit, and my neck was exposed. It was this side of my neck right here. It was exposed, and I felt something touch my neck. It was so sharp. It touched my neck. Y'all, I literally thought something think of the sharpest object you can and imagine it poking you in your neck, like boop, like that, or like a, it happened fast but slow at the same time, like it was like that. So I jump out of my bed, excuse me, I turn around, nobody's there, of course, and my bedroom door is closed. It was never open. It never got opened. So I jump up and I go to the door and I open the door, because at first I thought it was my brother, because I know he comes in there sometimes and, like, you know, snooping around and stuff, trying to find my phone charger, this, that, and the third. I know he does that a lot. So I thought that was him. So I walk across the hall, because my bedroom and his bedroom are adjacent from each other. So I walk across the hall. This man's asleep, sound asleep, mind you. He has a bunk bed, so he got to climb up the ladder to get in the bunk bed, and he would have been up there by now. Like, he would have still been climbing the ladder. Like, by the time I made it to the door, open my door, he would have still been climbing the ladder, and I would have heard his bed, because his bed's kind of squeaky. So I'm like, what the heck just ran in here and touched me? What was that? So y'all, I went in my room and I sat on my bed and I cried, and I put on scriptures. I started looking up Google scriptures, reading the Bible, praying, everything, on my knees, listening to sermons, playing gospel music. Girl, I was not playing. I said, whatever you are not welcome. Please get away from me right now. I don't play those type of games. I don't. Also, I'm gonna mention, when this happened, I was on my I done fell off a little bit, not gonna lie, but I was on my, you know, journey with having a relationship with Jesus Christ, and y'all, I think something was in there, and they were trying to get me. I don't play like that. And then I had called my boyfriend because I was scared, but yeah, y'all, and I didn't go to bed till like an hour or two later, and I was still scared when I went to bed. So I had my little sermons playing, scriptures playing in the background on my TV, everything was playing, girl. I don't play them games, but that's my little ghost story.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds